So, TDX released the 2024 Christmas event with 2 parts. We got part 1 featuring Dr. Xenon, the Gingerbread Boss, and all of these guys. As for part 2, we got Dr. Xenon again, General Zelgar, and all of these guys. I'll be showing you all how I managed to beat both parts stratless on Nightmare difficulty, which is very brutal by the way. So sit back, stay warm by the fire, and watch as I tell you how I defeated the 2024 Christmas event. So I joined the game and all of us decided to do Nightmare. Before we even started, we got to see Dr. Xenon in a cutscene. However, she didn't do anything, but yeah, we finally start, and since this map has 2 paths, I defended one of them using Ghost. For wave 1, all we had was some Gingerbread Man, and for wave 2, we also got Snowman. Both of them were very easy. Wave 3 introduced me to the Frostbites. Something interesting about these guys is that they take extra fire damage. And after learning about this, I decided to save for Flame Trooper. Everything was going fine for wave 4 until this guy spawned. That gingerbread man was actually a ginger drone, and it happened to be bulletproof. So yeah, I'm screwed. So to unscrew myself, I decided to get a Flame Trooper and hope that it can kill the ginger drone as soon as possible. The ginger drone escaped, but with very little health. Now wave 5 was just snowman spam. However, wave 6 introduced us to the resurrected cryoblasters, and they have an amazing design. How these guys work is that when they get near a tower, they will decrease the tower's reload time. So to help out, I decided to get another Flame Trooper. Wave 7 was just a bunch of gingerbread spam, and I mean a bunch of them. For wave 8, we got the Ungifted, which we saw from last year's event. As well as those guys, we also got the Ungifted, which work the same as resurrected cryoblasters and debuff your towers upon death. So at this point, everything was going fine. Just pretend that didn't happen. Anyways, we got back to wave 8 where we beat it with the help of Toxinator and John. Anyways, for wave 9, we got the resurrected Cryo Rangers. How they work is that they throw cryo grenades which can freeze towers. Anyways, on wave 10, we get introduced to the Lumberjacks, which have a high amount of HP. And on wave 11, we get to see the Ice Cap ones, which are pretty much just snowmen but with firearms. And for the record, they can shoot at your towers. It was also at this point where I started getting Flame Troopers at the front, which turned out to be very effective later on. So I decided to upgrade the Flame Troopers and get a DJ too. Wave 13 was pretty much just spam. Meanwhile, Wave 14 introduced us to the Snow Gangsters, which are big, hanky snowmen that like to smash the ground, dealing damage. Unfortunately, the Ice Cape ones decided to kill my Flame Troopers, so RP to them. So I decided to place the Flame Troopers again, cause why not? Wave 15 was just spam, so was Wave 16. Wave 17 was just naughty spam. On wave 18, Dr. Xenon mentions how she loves her robotic predators. In fact, she loves them so much that she spawns several of them in, and it just starts blasting at my towers, which I don't like. Luckily, the predators didn't cause too much damage, however, we did suffer a few casualties. At this point, we finished off most of the predators, and we got rid of any remaining. Wave 19 was just spam, so was Wave 20, and also Wave 21 as well. Now, Wave 22 introduced even more predators, and those same predators got cloned. These guys caused way more damage, but even when they're cloned, they stand no chance. Anyways, it's now Wave 23, and Dr. Xenon's talking about having additional units. Hopefully it isn't nothing too crazy. Of course. So now we have to fight against 2 very angry Exo Santas. Now these guys are no joke, seeing as they partially killed this G-Jug. I have my focus set on this Exo Santa since the other one was already dead. At this point we were dealing a huge amount of damage on the remaining Exo Santa, and we were able to defeat the other Exosanta with minimal injury. Wave 24 introduced a few stealth errata dogs. Luckily this one ran straight to an overseer. Unfortunately my teammates struggled on the other one. Hopefully they can clutch up. Anyways, with the help of stun powers this time, we beat the errata dogs and we made to the final wave where Dr. Xenon talks about her latest invention and how we have to survive against it.
It's beginning to look a lot like
What you just saw there was Ginger Dread, a gingerbread looking killer Retta. Ginger Dread wastes no time and starts launching explosive cookies everywhere, all while smashing the ground with both of his mighty fists. All the towers are focused on Ginger Dread, so let's see if they got what it takes. Ginger Dread is still causing chaos with his explosive cookies. Luckily we did enough damage to trigger Ginger Dread's second phase, where he first released a very deadly EMP, which knocks the helicopters out of the sky and stuns everything. So yeah, definitely don't underestimate a giant gingerbread man. Even with all our towers firing at Ginger Dread seems unfazed as he launches a barrage of explosive cookies. At this point, I'm trying to replace my EDJs, but by this point, all the golden juggernauts, railgunners, and all the other towers are doing significant damage. And little by little, Gingerbread is getting closer to the base, all while his health is getting closer and closer to being completely drained. At last, Ginger Dread has finally been defeated as he blows up into 1,000 pieces, hopefully to never return. All I did now was sit on this bench and watch the winning screen. Anyways, we're done with part 1. Now it's time for... So I loaded in and I obviously picked Nightmare Mode, and after a bit of waiting with my teammates, we got another cutscene with Dr. Xenon explaining a bit about the new boss. This was pretty much the same as the first cutscene, except this time she talks about being weak and about wanting vengeance, and then she crashes out on us.
With you.
And that was the entire cutscene. So yeah, some pretty freaky stuff. Anyways, my teammate placed a Gold Ranger and I decided to place one as well. I also tried to get 2 medics since heals will be very necessary during early game. Anyways, wave 1 starts with these Arctic Scouts and a few of these Tolians with very little health. I then start upgrading my Gold Ranger a bit so that I can prepare for wave 2, which starts bringing in Wendigo Hunters. Now the thing about Wendigo Hunters is that if you look closely, you'll notice that these guys are carrying guns. And guess what they can do with those guns? Yep, they can shoot stuff. So I decided to completely spam the heck out of the medics for the massive heals. Anyways, it is now wave 4 and Dr. Xenon talks about some lore, specifically about Frosty, who was an old boss from Tower Battles. While she's talking, she sends out a horde of ginger drones, as well as a single lumberjack. Unfortunately, we make the field ginger drones, so to help clear them out, we got a few gold rangers and watch as they all die. And on wave 5, Dr. Xenon sends out a few cryo rangers, but luckily with the help of some baits, we were able to stall the cryo rangers before they could attack our important stuff. As well as those fire rangers, we also got a snow bait stuff to do with. I also was able to save it up for a G-Jug, and a bit of distracting with scarecrows was enough to take the snow gangster down. I then upgraded my gold rates to Bonner Pass so that it could get flying detection, and I also upgraded my medics for better heals. All while spamming a bunch of baits because of the insane amount of enemies incoming. After setting the base down, I continued with my medics, but while I was doing that, Dr. Xenon sends 2 taking Belsnicles. But even with their high HP, they couldn't handle our DPS. I then start spamming Bottom Path G-Ranger as now we got flying enemies. I then decided to upgrade all of my medics to 4-2. Along with those floating guys from earlier, we also got some Wraith Riders that shoot beams at towers. So this point, I'm focusing on upgrading my G-Jugs when Elder Wendigo suddenly spawned. This guy was a mini-boss, and by just looking at his health, I knew he was gonna struggle. So I decided to continue working on G-Jugs while getting baits ready to distract the Wendigo. And make things easier, I decided to open one of the baits so that it takes absolutely no damage to the Elder Wendigo, which turned out to be a clever play since the Wendigo was pretty much stuck trying to kill the invincible bait. We got him to half health when he decided to summon some Wendigos, but I still didn't do anything, and the Wendigo pretty much got absolutely nailed into oblivion. Anyways, we're done with him, and I decided to get some extra VMs down and upgrade them specifically to Bottom Path since we were gonna need some major splash damage. While also maxing out my medics and also getting a ton more baits for the endless amount of enemies. And while I was getting some G-Jugs, a huge amount of predators started spawning. And if that wasn't bad enough, we all had to deal with 2 Ginger Dreads. So yeah, that just made things even more harder. At this point, I'm just getting as much DPS as possible to do with the Ginger Dreads. Luckily, we were able to get one of the Ginger Dreads to half health, but then this guy releases his EMP, which stuns everything. As for his laser, I used G-Rangers to bait him out of using it, and after a little bit, we were able to destroy one of them. And with the other one to half health. At this point, we were doing really good until that happened. At this point, this guy was trolling as he decided to decimate my medics with his laser. After a few more deaths, we finally defeated the other Gingerbread. And my god, am I relieved. However, something was very odd. Try to guess what happened. If you guessed that my Wi-Fi died, then congratulations. Luckily, I was able to rejoin just in time to beat Wave 9, which was just a filler wave by the way. We had a bunch of predators on Wave 10. Now that I think about it, a bunch was an underestimate. Because look at the amount of predators! However, that was the least of my concerns, because if you look at the top, you can see a boss bar. First Snow Apex Predator. Anyways, we'll unfortunately see him later. Right now, I have to deal with the insane amount of predators. Like, what the heck is this? We killed most of the predators. Now we gotta deal with Apex Predator over here. Ironically, this guy uses fire for some reason. So yeah, very misleading name. Something interesting though is that he can damage the base with his laser eyes. So clearly, we gotta do what it takes to kill this guy. Luckily, this guy's health bar is dropping faster than the TDX player count when update is out for just a week. Anyways, we managed to kill Snow Apex Predator, and we sold everything as quickly as possible before he explodes. Unfortunately, we couldn't save all of our towers. At this point, we're just replacing all of our towers while we watch this guy get absolutely beamed. And now it's time for the final wave. So General Selgar spawns in with his army. So yeah, we're screwed. My plan was to spam G-Junks in this specific area right here. General Selgar starts taking damage, so he decides to use his ice shields for more defense. This guy then displays his immense power by absolutely decimating all of these G-Junks with his powerful ice breath. That ability is very destructive. However, he slams the ground with his giant ice axe. I then start spamming as many G-Junks as I possibly can, all while the menacing Selgar gets closer to the gates. General Selgar then decides to use his ice breath again and completely freeze everything. He then decides that he should probably use it again, for no good reason. He would just wanted to. General Selgar then goes absolutely ballistic as he tries to break down the gates. He then finishes off with his ice axe and decides to use his ice axe again, for no reason. Henceforth, his health will be very slim as he uses his ice axe again as a desperate attempt to try and kill as many powers as possible before his fate is sealed. And there we have it! We beat General Selgar and his army. Dr. Xenon whines about not getting her crystals in the final cutscene, and I beat in yet another event. If you made it this far, then consider subscribing if you want to see more events and challenge videos. Also want to get 1K subs by the end of the year. So thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.